Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, I'm afraid. My name is Johnboy. It is Johnboy time. John Fahey, your host. The COVID kid. COVID barely 18. And you're the cream pied piper, I understand.
That's right. Just playing my skin flute all around town, luring your little tiny people in trench coats into my trench coat.
Totally forgot about the cream pied piper. Really stupid. Really, really dumb. Aaron Joseph Peter, how are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, feeling fine. How are you?
I'm great. You know who's also great? This handsome young devil to your right and my left. It's Mr. Matt Brousseau.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Didn't somebody describe you as a homeless Frenchman? What was
Oh, I don't remember.
Not homeless.
Dodger said you were like a rebellious Frenchman.
Rebellious.
Rebellious.
Nothing more rebellious than homelessness.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
And then he asked me if I was eating melted ass ice cream sandwiches in the heat. And then he said our ideas are shit.
Shite.
And yes, he said our ideas are shite.
Now ask me what I'm drinking, John.
What are you drinking, Aaron?
This is Bitburger.
Deutsches Bier.
Das Beste.
Doesn't that feel good? That tastes good? Bitburger tastes good.
It's a premium pills.
Deutsche Bier tastes good.
Deutsches Bier ist das Beste. Deutsches Bier. Das Beste.
Now, Aaron, where are we doing the show from? We're not in Chineseville, but I can...
No, we are here at Club 1429.
Uh-huh.
Here at
the homestead.
our home.
Our home.
Yeah.
Where you and I lay our big fucking...
Fat pricks, right? This is our goose and log cabin.
Yeah. You said it, neighbor. Goose and log cabin.
That's right.
It's very good.
Anywhere I goose my log is home.
Anywhere I goose.
So stupid.
It's very good. Yeah, that's really bad Metallica. We gotta say, we were talking about the current events of the day.
We were.
And we were saying how we should discuss them on a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon, $5 a month, extra show a week. If you enjoy the program, please get involved.
All sorts of stuff.
We do different types of stuff there. Now, Aaron, sometimes you explain the full movie of Terminator 2.
Or 1 as well.
Or 1.
Also, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Sure.
Also, Avengers Endgame. I've done mostly and actually all time travel movies.
Yeah.
I do want to do the Back to the Future trilogy. I could do that off my dome for sure.
Yeah.
But there's some others, Tron Legacy. Not time travel per se.
That was a new edition.
Yeah, Tron Legacy is fucking dope.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say.
We watched that the other night here. It was straight up, according to Aaron, the pretty much pivotal version of the hero's journey.
Was that the new one? The Jeff Bridges
The
one?
newer one,
right.
yeah. It was really, really good. I mean, visually, just incredible.
So you're saying there's a hero in the journey?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe one or two.
Something circular?
Yeah. There's.
Yes, a return home. Bringing back what you've learned on your journey.
Yeah, into the old world, out of the new world.
I don't judge.
Profiles in Eccentricity, of course, on Instagram. PP Podcast on Twitter.
That's right.
And you can get a whole big dose of images from these psychos that we talk about.
Yeah.
I realized that I haven't done a Doc Pumice. And that was an incredibly good recent episode. I need to do an update.
Well, there's still time.
There is. There's always time. There's nothing but time. Time conquers all. Don't forget that.
Time enough at last.
So I want to just paint a picture here for you boys.
Oh.
Think about the people who get access to power historically.
Psychopaths, sociopaths, sycophants, maniacs.
Sure. What would be the ways in which you might gain access to power?
Me?
And anybody throughout time and access to the company of the powerful.
Okay. Well,
How would that come about?
me? I know what I would do.
No, I'm not asking you about your fucking grand scheme.
No, I'd get all nasty with it. But I think most people brute force,
Okay.
subversion, lies.
And how would you do it?
Oh, I'd sleep my way to the fucking top, baby. Oh,
That's exactly what we're talking about here.
For reals?
We're talking about a sultry Spanish vixen that is just so hot.
And what's her
Like
number?
you. Like you, Aaron.
Me?
Yeah.
Am I sultry?
I think you're kind of sultry. Yeah.
I think that's the right answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's too hot. It's just like you.
Is she too hot to handle, too cold to hold?
Yeah. Yeah. She's a real psycho. But she's just a highly rebellious beauty, and she gains access to. Let me give you an example. I'm gonna start in the middle if you don't mind.
Oh, very nice.
When she's in Europe and she's doing these dancing tours, word will spread because it's so scandalous. I mean, she's too hot.
What year is this?
Well, this would be like the 1840s.
So it's some sort of belly dance type thing, maybe.
Yeah, she's not really a very good dancer at all.
Right.
She's not twerking.
But she looks really good. But she's doing pretty much she did this thing called the spider dance. And the spider dance was like she had these spiders sewn into her dress, and it was supposed to look like, she's getting the spiders off, but what's happening is you're getting glimpses of everything underneath.
Ow.
Because she's it's like
Ripping the fabric spiders off?
She's like pulling up her skirt and she's dancing around, and it's like, oh no, the spiders. And the thing is you're the spider.
Right.
The audience is the spider. She's so fucking hot.
Well, she's tangling you in a web.
It's
You're shooting
she's
your web
tangled
everywhere.
Yeah, it's not really a good show.
No.
But
it's an excuse to strip.
Yes, she's being very, very hot, and a lot of places are they're scandalized, Aaron. No, they're scandalized.
Were they flabbergasted? Or
But also, scandals, like, it leads to shit. And do you remember I did that profile of the Potsdam Giants guy?
Yeah.
Wilhelm the First.
Yeah, he loved the big dudes.
Yes. Well, Wilhelm the Fourth, his great grandson, he was into hot ladies, which I don't understand at all.
So it's
give me a room of huge dudes and a bear.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't fall in the paternal line.
Yeah, here's what I want in order. I want a bear, and then I want like a racist Arabic stereotype, and then hundreds and thousands of giants
Marching through my quarters.
But this guy is
but that's how you get power.
This guy is
Combine
just
those.
taken with this very beautiful woman, and so she gets introduced, and still there's the closeness of Russia and Prussia at that time, and so Tsar Nicholas is there too, and he allegedly offers her 1,000 rubles for like one evening of company. No word on whether that went down, but she did also discuss politics with him quite a bit.
Now, do we have a name?
Her name is Lola Montez.
Lola Montez.
And
Yes.
what was her dancing name?
Lola Montez.
Oh, the same.
Yes.
Sapphire.
But we'll get more.
Chastity.
We'll get more to the name stuff in a minute. So there's a time there where she's hanging around with Nicholas IV, and she's as famous for, or maybe more famous for, her crazy demeanor.
Like just day to day.
Yeah, she's incredibly hot.
But she's crazy.
and she's hot tempered.
Ooh.
So it's just something that so she goes one time just like unbidden into like the royal court, and some cop tries to stop her.
Fuck.
And she takes out her horsewhip and whips him in the face.
Whoa. She has a horsewhip.
She has a horsewhip.
That'd probably keep all the guys away. Yeah,
And that horsewhip is like a thing,
yeah, you gotta whip horses.
like her thing. And so she's showing up, and like there's no consequence because she is supposed to be there because she is so hot.
Wow.
When do I mean, like it's kind of another thing. Like it's not sheer beauty, of course, with Rasputin, but it is charisma.
The currency is charisma, whether it's ruples or pesetas or francs.
And the thing is with her that you'll come to find out is that she can hold her own in these rooms of the powerful, even though it's unheard of at this time for a woman to sit in those rooms.
Right. Well,
and woman who's not in any way, shape, or form related to the royalty. She's there on her own scruples
Aaron,
and
she's
sexies.
yeah, but she's not even who she says she is.
But Rasputin, part of his power was convincing these women that they had some sort of power, and many of them didn't feel like that, because their husbands, treated them dismissively. They treated them less than they might have treated this woman.
Yes.
And so Rasputin was able to get their favor, which gave him some power.
Yes.
Rasputin upcoming profile.
Ooh.
Yes. Aaron Joseph Peter working on the Rasputin profile.
Rasputin.
Very,
That
very
might be
exciting.
a two-parter. Might not be,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's a.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, he was around during a very interesting time. I'm sorry to digress, but
Not at all.
This Lola Montez appearances may be deceiving, but certainly pleasing.
Oh, very pleasing. I mean, everybody is definitely taken in by her spell, and she is not at all the Spanish hottie you are. She is born in Sligo, Ireland.
Oh,
Because-
wow. We all wear masks.
Rather
Behind every hot Spaniard
is
is
an Irish
some
woman.
Irish liar.
Now, where did she? There is actually there's some common ancestry there,
Oh, yeah, the Celts
Yes.
stuff and things,
especially in northern Spain.
Sure, yeah.
Did we know what she looked like? Did she look like your stereotypical Spaniard with the dark features in that, or was she more of a pale?
I think she had the
light fair skin,
the dark hair at least,
Right.
but I think that's maybe about the end of it.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was the kind of thing too where it wasn't popular to be Irish then,
right?
and
people will
and
believe
Spanish
it.
is a little more exotic
Sure.
and interesting. So she's born in 1821 in Grange in Sligo, Ireland, and her father is he's a noble British. He's one of the sheriff of the local. He's a goddamn conquistador of Ireland.
Position of power.
And he's they're Irish Protestants, and they have some money, and she's very rebellious. Her mom is very young when she has her, and they have to prove that like she wasn't pregnant at the time of the wedding and stuff. Her dad's a junior in the British Army, and in 23, she's only 2 years old. He has to go to India, and he instantly gets cholera and dies. Cholera and dies.
It's like, what? Yeah, that must be new.
And she's
Shit in the water.
The mom is 19. She quickly remarries to Lieutenant Patrick Craigie in 1824, and Eliza Gilbert, her Lola Montez's real name, is just spoiled. And,
Yeah, that's not a dancer. A
Eliza
hot dancer.
Gilbert.
yeah, and a maniac. And the new stepdad is like, ooh, and so he's like, we got to send her back to Britain, and
She's probably getting stuck in washing machines. It's just a whole
Oh yeah,
mess.
yeah.
she's going around, and she is going into church, and
Is she impulsive?
she does have an impulse problem, real bad, and you're going to hear a lot about that.
It's, sometimes you can be impulsive.
Yeah. She's doing things like she'll go up and grab a guy's wig and shove a bunch of flowers in it. And then she would just run through the streets naked as a little kid. And
What a scamp.
she gets sent to a boarding school. She only lasts a year. They can't handle her at all. And then she goes to another school in Bath. At the age of 16, she elopes with another British Army guy, Lieutenant Thomas James. And so after 5 years, I think she goes back to India with him. He was stationed there, and she leaves him in India, and she becomes a professional dancer, and she's not at all.
So she's just constantly doing whatever she wants.
Anything she wants, yeah. And I think she definitely has a sense that, like, man, I am really crazy, really hot, and people will give me what I want.
Yeah, a lot of attention.
Yeah.
People being attractive, people are already giving her attention, and then she's creating more by stealing wigs.
So she shows up in London and is obviously, she gets a show. She can't dance. How'd she get that fucking show? You know what I mean? She either fucked somebody or whipped a guy in the face, because she's like...
Or promised to fuck somebody.
So she gets a show, Lola Montez, the Spanish dancer. And the people in the audience recognize her as the wife of their fucking friend, Lieutenant Thomas James. And then they're like, she's Irish and divorced. And so that kind of hits her rep pretty hard.
So she's got to get out of London.
And so she's got to go, so she goes to the mainland. And then she really becomes the courtesan, which is, Aaron, can you explain courtesan?
A courtesan is the highest class of escort.
Yes.
I would say, not a hooker, not a streetwalker, not even a prostitute. More of a luxury companion, I would say. And part of that companionship will oftentimes, and certainly should, include relations. But it will also probably include some fine conversation, some dining.
Sure.
Presentability.
Some wig stealing. I mean...
Maybe you put on her wig, she puts on yours, But a courtesan is a...
Merkin stealing.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah. And so she has, just a lot of guys that will, do things for her, give her money. But she's really after kind of intellect and stuff. She's definitely smart enough to get to these places. She's also crazy enough to will it into happening at a time when it's completely against the odds over and over and over again. Even after she has like a reputation among the wealthy elites. It's kind of reminiscent on an older and higher scale to Superhead.
Sure.
Wait, she found her game.
Yeah. And that she always kind of, and it's similar too in the way of like, the carrot is as extreme as the stick.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So she has this reputation of, basically getting a guy, and when he starts to bore her, then she'll either leave him, and if he leaves her anytime before, she will explode in a rage and possibly beat the shit out of you with a whip.
Did anybody beat her back?
It doesn't ever seem like it.
I mean, a horsewhip probably keeps people at distance.
They just really like getting hit by this whip.
I don't know, man.
Maybe they're just so infatuated. The Cupid's arrows. They don't even. You can do whatever you want. I saw your belly.
But so she goes to Paris and she's dancing there, and people kind of like now are like, this is just kind of like risque stuff. Like, we're not impressed here.
Right. Paris is famous.
At first, it has a little scandal to it, and then after a while, they're like, all right, boring.
Yeah.
But she kind of gets in with the bohemian kind of community there.
Get these fucking Irish bitch off the stage. I know a Spaniard when I see one, and this is no fucking Spaniard.
She's very much not about conservatism and Catholicism, and she's very much into Protestantism and liberalism. And so she's hanging around those circles, and she starts an affair with the composer Franz Liszt.
Oh. Hey, Listomania.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like a crazy, crazy affair.
I bet.
And he's pretty much at the height of his fame. And, he's also a writer and a philosopher, and she can just really talk to him all day. And that's like the real basis of
somebody who gets what it's like to be adored.
Yeah. And she's in that circle too. I think before this, she had a brief affair with Alexander Dumas.
Oh, Dumas.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Yes. And I'm telling Matt,
well,
he's the rascally Frenchman or whatever. She's in the circle of George Sand as well. But her thing with Liszt is like, people said he started looking kind of like a shell of a man because she was so, she kind of was really fucking the spirit out of him. And I think it was just one of those things where you were kind of holding on with two hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In all ways, she's just a dynamic, crazy, intense person in all the ways. And that's fun. It kind of reminds me of my mom, I gotta say. It's like, when it's fun, it's real fun, and when it's bad, it is just like run away.
Well, like the manic pixie dream girl, they never show the thing where she's
manic.
Not, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's always she fits perfectly in whatever the guy needs, and she's never too much. But but in real life, those
manic
people don't
is the first
stop.
word.
Yeah.
I think we all have a little bit of experience with that.
Yeah, she goes.
It's fucking nice.
But here's the other side of it, right?
Fun,
And the interesting side of it, because it shows the potential that she has too. And she goes to this banquet with him in Bonn, and all the ladies are seated elsewhere. She sits right at the head table with all the men.
Yeah, she's not taking it. She's not going to. The women would probably bore her,
and nobody is saying anything because I think she just carries herself with this kind of thing,
and she carries a horsewhip,
and she's really hot.
Yeah.
And at the end of the meal, the ladies all adjourn, and the men are supposed to stay there and smoke cigars, and she stays and just lights one up,
right,
and chills. And Lys gets really hammered, and he's doing this toast, and he's going rambling, fucking shit faced, and she's sitting there watching him. And when he finishes the toast, some of the people there are mad because he forgot to pay tribute to France.
Oh, France!
And they start fucking haranguing him, and he's like, kind of muttering, stuttering prick, And
she grabs the horsewhip. It's like, I'll execute every last motherfucking one.
Dude, she gets up on the table now and starts walking up and down it and being like, you are all going to shut the fuck up and listen to him apologize. Okay. And in the course of doing that, she kicks a bowl of hot soup into like some dignitary's lap.
Oh my God.
But yeah, she was really really fucking in charge.
Jesus.
The soup wasn't that good.
So List is like, he can't hang anymore. And the way
she's fucking with his day now.
How?
Well, it's like, he gets drunk and he makes it, she made things worse,
No, she saved him.
Oh, really?
She totally saved him. She whipped them all into shape.
He's emasculated.
I don't think he's emasculated. I think he's just
worn out,
done with intensity.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is that it's fun until you realize I only have this much of quotient of intensity that I can enjoy. And so the way he gets out of it is he tiptoes out of the room in the middle of the night.
Wait, was it that night or just another?
No, it's another.
Oh, okay.
Night. And he goes down to the concierge of the hotel, and he just gives him a wad of cash. And the guy's like, "What's this for?" And he goes, "What she's going to do when she finds me gone." And
I trust this will be enough. But I can't be sure.
I took an inventory of the chairs and the baseboard.
Power move by List.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't fuck around with Franz List.
I'm gonna go check the ice machine next door.
So she meets up with
what'd she do?
the founder of.
Did she destroy the room?
Did she go Led Zeppelin on it?
She goes totally apeshit. Yeah. She becomes involved with Alexander Dujarier. And he is the owner, founder, or not maybe the founder, but he's definitely the owner and art critic, I believe, for La Presse, which is the biggest newspaper in France at the time.
It sounds like it.
And
it has to be.
He's trying to like revitalize her dancing career and stuff like that. And he gets into some fucking silly fucking thing with Jean-Baptiste Rosemont de Beauvalon.
Oh, that guy?
And they had like some.
You should say these in your Cajun voice.
They had some.
Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste Rosemont. I can't do it. But anyway, he challenges him to a duel, and I think Dumas is telling him like, "Hey, man, you can't fucking shoot a gun for shit." And now it's noted around this time too that she can,
of course, yeah,
really well.
God.
She's like a Julie Debonnier type.
Yeah, she's.
But she likes dudes.
Yeah.
But also she's in some of these things where she would draw the whip. She was also known to threaten with a pistol. So she's had a.
Ma'am, I just asked if you wanted.
She's fucking gun. She's weapons akimbo.
She's had at least some experience with that stuff.
It's the original. Sir, this is a Wendy's meme.
Yeah. On March 11th, 1845, this guy that he got into this stupid argument with shoots him in the face.
No. I can only imagine what the argument was about.
It was like just stuff over nonsense.
Of course.
And the guy, like, as he was dying when he wrote his will, I think where he gave her his residence, he gave all his horses to Dumas, and but he was writing. He's like, I'm writing this after a really. Like, I'm dying over nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dying so dumb.
I think most people, after a duel, when they're dying, they're like,
and I think,
that wasn't a good
I think a
idea.
lot of it was driven by drink and, like, the argument and the agreement to duel.
Well, that's why to duel, you had to slap someone with a glove, because you had to be really drunk to
get the glove off.
Yeah.
You got to smell the glove, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, and also guns back then, pistols, whatever, were just
They're like exploding fucking
you're
fragments.
not. I mean, you're not gonna hit anybody.
Yeah, the ball's not even round.
No, this guy hit him square in the face.
Well, yeah, no. I mean,
But he was aiming for his shoes.
But somebody died.
Dujardin was good enough with it, and known, and she Lola was trying to talk him out of it, and so was Alexander Dumas, and he went ahead with it. He did not hit Jean-Baptiste at all, and
Took one to the face. And quickly wrote out
his will.
But you see what I mean? Like, he got shot in the face and still was able to write a will out. Like,
yeah, because it's like fragments and stuff.
Yeah, and they're little balls, not even rifled bullets.
Yeah.
I like to think he just took it to the face and immediately turned around and said, "Hey, I'd like to write
quill, please."
Yeah. She has this brief excursion where she goes to Warsaw, and they are Russian colonized at the time, and probably not thrilled about it.
Yes,
you know. And so the Prince Paskevich hears about her because she's going to all these places and she's always touring. She's always got a show. Mm-hmm. She has some rep, and I'm sure wherever she goes, she pretty much seduces the theater directors.
No, I mean, wouldn't you?
And so Paskevich, I guess, sees her, hears about her. He offers her a villa and a fucking fortune in jewels, right? And
to perform or just for her
be with him,
just to constantly be around.
But she's not attracted to him.
No, he's hideous.
I mean, this is the thing. Is that like she's at that level too, where she's like, doesn't matter if I'm not Spanish. Doesn't matter if I'm, from a moderately wealthy family, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like I'm just getting everywhere here on the currency is charisma and beauty
and that WAP.
and the WAP. The WAP is probably
WAP.
severe.
Do you was she not attracted because physically, or
she wasn't attracted to him
because he was
physically.
a Polak? Everyone knows Irish Spanish girls hate Polacks.
She's not Spanish whatsoever.
She's Irish Spanish.
No, she's not.
I'm Polish.
The whole Spanish thing is a lie.
I know,
but she's also Irish Protestant, so
right.
She's technically English. Okay, she's Irish. She's born in Sligo.
There's gonna be some angry comments
Polacks.
about them. No. I'm Polish.
I got some in me.
Yeah, you still do.
Deep. In
yeah.
me.
So she gets this.
Polak is the correct term.
Yeah, sure. I'm not offended.
It's like
by
saying Jew. It's just all about the intonation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if the word fucking is before it,
well, I could
not good.
Now, if motherfucker is after it, that's cool. This Polish motherfucker.
You can say bomb ass. I think that'd be okay.
So she's like, no thanks. You're a hideous old chud.
So she turns down the villa and
like a fuck ton of money in jewels, and so then she keeps doing her shows, whatever. And then he sends the secret police after her. And
how many Polak secret police does it take to catch her?
Well, it wasn't enough because they went home empty-handed.
Wow.
Yeah, she was just like, yeah, no. They were like, but this is gunpoint. And she's like, I'm a psycho too. Like I got a whip and a gun, and maybe I'll whip your gun out of your hand. I don't know.
What are you gonna do? Kill me?
She asked for help screwing in a light bulb, and it took her all night.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. She was too hot. We all got distracted.
She was covered in spiders.
We saw she was doing us a favor.
She put a scratch and sniff sticker at the bottom of a pool, and we all drowned.
You do terrible Polish jokes.
Yeah,
that's really good.
So then they went back to their submarine with a screen door.
Yeah, there was nothing we could do.
I watched Abel Ferrara's Ms. 45.
Oh, God.
Done before King of New York and Bad Lieutenant.
Okay.
All movies where he makes New York just look like shit because it was. It's all filmed at that time. But there's this girl, she tells a joke. She's like, these 3 eggs boiling in a pot. And they go, how do they expect us to get hard in 3 minutes after we just got laid? It's one of my favorite parts of the movie. It's really good shit.
I'm gonna grab a beverage. Does anybody?
Well, I'm okay. I'm okay. Well, Matt,
take a break.
We'll take a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
A quippy.
And we're back. So this chuddy Polak, Aaron, if you want, Prince, he's, a Russian, kind of figurehead, and they're already not too thrilled with that in Poland, and they send. After she resists the jewels in the villa and she resists the secret police somehow. How do you even do that?
Well,
a bunch of dudes with guns come and
they're corrupt. I mean,
maybe he was just saying like,
I'll suck your cocks,
I don't actually want to hurt her or anything. I just want her to come here. Maybe that was the deal.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who sent the secret police on her?
The prince.
Prince Paskevich. And so for her next 3 shows, he pays a bunch of people to go into the audience and like heckle and boo and harangue her.
That's fun. That's really juvenile.
It's really fucked and just pathetic. Yeah. And like, it's just crazy, like this thing that you see throughout here and the extremes it goes to with just a hot girl from these men of state. And, it's so funny because we just watched a bunch of I think season 4 Game of Thrones stuff or whatever. I don't know if it's in that season.
Wait,
but,
why?
Well, our roommate Tara is catching up on it. She hasn't seen it.
Okay.
So, but there's a thing where Varys, the eunuch, is like, they're like, oh, don't you wish you had a cock? And he goes, no, I've seen what desire does to the country.
Right.
And this is sheer, blatant, personal, specific desire.
It's one of those things when you think, at least I always thought when I got older, right? Like I would be more chill. And in most cases, I'm more chill about stuff because you just experience more stuff and you get used to it. But still, just insanely horny all the time. That has never left me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
this is
your discipline.
Yes.
To act on it.
I can handle it.
Or desperate, whatever it's, no desperation. But also, like, it doesn't mean that I'm in the same boat. Like, there is very little that a girl could, seduce me into doing now.
Right.
But, unless she was a guy.
Well, dude. Yeah. Chicks with dicks?
Oh, yeah. I don't see a downside.
Or a Sibian refugee.
There's nothing I wouldn't do. What I'm saying, but just because I have the discipline or the lack of, desperation or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I don't almost crash my car on a daily basis.
Right.
Rubbernecking at just, oh my God, it's hot out. Nobody's wearing a bra.
Right.
Oh,
well,
God.
that's the initial, right? And
thankfully, I don't have power.
And that's fine.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But power gives you gives you access.
Yeah.
Gives you access.
Until you don't get it, and that's the obsession.
And that's but that's the thing too, is that like the obsession level is a different level than just the immediate, oh my God, I want to bury my cock, like that type of shit. You know what I mean?
Because when you try and you can't, now all of a sudden that's passion, right? Passion is desire plus an obstacle.
Well, yeah, and just I mean that crazy love too that anybody's had in like a like a crazy affair. I think she elicits that so much.
Yeah.
There's a madness to it. Because it's
and like it's one of those things too where it's a very special kind of thing where like they like even these bratty, shitty, fucking powerful, spoiled pieces of shit, like they still want her even after they're like totally,
if not more.
Yeah.
Well, and then they don't know, they're not used to being rejected in a way that they can't like murder their way out of or something.
Sure, yeah. I mean, this guy goes straight for the fucking secret police after the villas. I mean,
yeah.
So the secret police come back with another no thanks. She's getting harangued by these, fucking like an AstroTurf movement of people that are, and so what she does, I think, is so beautiful and so necessary. She just fucking comes correct with the audience, which are mostly Polish people. And she stops doing a dance, really sexy shit. Everybody's got a nice big heart on there, and you like that.
I love big hearts.
Everybody's got WAP.
Oh.
I'm talking about WAP.
WAP and Chub.
WAP and Chub.
That's our new TV show.
WAP and Chub. Yeah.
We're two cops and we don't take shit.
Yeah.
So,
you said
we don't wear socks.
We don't.
I got your back, Chub.
Thanks, WAP.
We don't wear socks.
Shoes, no socks.
So she just comes out and she goes, here's the deal.
Here's the deal, man.
I come to this country. I start doing all my sexy shit. Your prince in charge takes a fancy to me. I refuse his advances several times. I know he's got these people in here.
Ruining your show.
Ruining
your experience.
The Polish
people.
go insane. They start like freaking out, hollering support for this this is how hot she is. And they go out into the streets and start rioting. And like this ends up bringing an end to his reign in Poland.
Is this like the end of the monarchy?
No, it just deposes him.
Oh, okay. You're like, all right, whoever's next, just be cool.
The riots in the street, and at first she just wanted sympathy and to go on and get paid for her shows. Mm-hmm. She ends up starting this shit, and so she's like holed up in her fucking hotel room with a gun, and she's threatening any man that comes to the door.
Yeah.
And then the fucking French ambassador to Poland comes and gets her out of it.
I once saw you in Paris. You dance like shit, but I like you now.
I know you're not Spanish.
I know you're no Spaniard, but you brought down this fucking prince, so for that we are indebted to you.
She brings the prince down. That's how hot she is.
God. I mean, she's Helen of Troy, but kind of better. Because it's not just one place. She could actually go over a lot of different places.
It's fucking crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What brought you down? Oh, my whole family and I were murdered. It was a coup.
What brought you down? Lola Montez, Spanish dancer? Spider dance?
The military, bro. Yeah. Military overthrew me. Just a lady dancing.
I mean, they didn't need much excuse, but it was one of these things too where they saw like the lengths that somebody would go to do, and it's crazy, isn't it?
Well,
it's like the modern like a modern pervert getting called out, and exposing his abuses of power. But this is back in the 1840s.
Yeah, how many people were at this show that it turned into this?
I mean, these are pretty big theaters.
Yeah,
you have to imagine though. There's it was the spark.
Yeah, what was the lead time from this riot to his
deposition?
Yeah, his overthrow.
What, a couple weeks?
That's what I'm asking. Yeah. So
No, I mean, she just showed up there.
Pretty great stuff.
She just got there, and she doesn't have any other dalliances with any other notables that we know of.
She's like, I came here to dance.
Mm-hmm.
I
came here to chew bubble gum,
dance, and take down monarchies, and I'm all out of bubble gum and my feet hurt.
Yeah. I mean, it's the greatest thing.
Does she change her billing after this? Is she like the most dangerous woman in the world, or like?
No, that
monarchies hate this chick. One simple trick to bringing down monarchies.
What simple trick? She is the
simple trick.
So she goes on to Munich, which is Bavaria at this point, right?
And
München. Yeah, München. Thank you, Aaron. That's very good.
Bitburger is not from München. Hofbrau is from München.
Oh. King Ludwig I is absolutely astounded by her.
Of course.
And she gets into some really fucking hot dress, man. I mean, real hot.
Spray painted on, basically.
Oh, one of those.
Tight.
And he asks her in company, like a true idiotically horny, savage, male, moron.
Tons of power.
If her cleavage was artifice or nature.
I wonder what would be fake cleavage back then?
Hammocks.
The dress. The dress
Oh, I see.
boosting it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Or a corset type.
Yeah.
Smash them
or-
shits together so they come out your turtleneck.
Or a couple of onions, you know.
She rips it open and throws her tits in his face and says, "You tell me."
God, well,
oh my god, oh my god, oh my
if
god.
there's ever an answer he wanted,
Is that all you have to do to get tits in your eyes?
hey, are those real?
And this is like other people around. Like she doesn't give a fuck. Don't forget, she's like running through the streets naked when she's a kid. Like this,
Right.
she does not give a fuck. And I think that thing in her eye that showed that, and the way she backed it up, was the thing that made everybody like, "Whoa, who the fuck is that?" You know.
You know what I mean? She had a raw power that she was harnessing.
Yeah, and when she first goes there, she tried to get more shows. You know.
In Munich.
In Bavaria, yeah. And Munich, in Bavaria. And she is turned down by the theater director because of her reputation. Reputation precedes her.
Yeah.
And
This guy's got standards.
so she just goes around him and meets with the king and then does that big titty reveal.
Man.
Again?
No.
Oh,
that's
right.
what happened first.
What happened first was that she tried to get the show.
Yes.
The theater director, probably gay, wasn't swayed.
The theater director's a woman, and
All right.
Not
she says, "You don't have any talent.
Right.
And you are a fucking like."
Hey, pretty progressive for a female theater director. Hey,
Yeah.
I only said he was gay because I assumed that in the times that it would be a man.
Yeah, and she turned it down, you know, perhaps rightfully,
she
but
was
also
immune.
she wasn't thinking.
She was immune to her sexual
Her
wiles, I
wiles, yeah.
assume.
But she wasn't thinking box office.
That's
She was thinking talent.
box office.
Oh,
Nice.
hey,
That's very good. Very good.
So she goes, you know what? F of this B.
I'm gonna talk to.
I'm going to your boss's boss's
I'm gonna
boss's
go,
boss.
Yeah, I'm going to Ludwig.
And then he
Betty's
makes a lewd
Yeah.
comment.
Makes lascivious.
Yeah,
And
her
then
last
she-
words were like, "All I have to do is put my tits in his face. I can have
But
a show."
she's like-
He'll ask. He'll
She
ask.
just like shuts him the fuck up because that's like part of it
how
too.
are you gonna yell when you got tits in your face?
You know, there's this thing that nobody wants to sympathize with the really hot girl, but there is a lot of shit where you go like, all I really want to do is kick it and talk to people like Franz Liszt and hang out with the bohemian people and talk about liberal stuff. And she has pretty radical ideas, and,
Right.
and she's like, I want to get into these halls of power and change the world. And so there's that much of that,
Yeah.
and being denied that and only being treated as the hot person until you force yourself not to be.
Right.
But then she's also kind of crazy. And it's that thing of like, is she just crazy or does...
Is she wielding crazy like a weapon?
Yes. Is it still... Because the thing they
Crazy like a
say
fox.
about her as a young woman was just two things. Was wildness and absolute determination. And those things continue. She never, ever really yields. Ever.
Even at a crosswalk?
She might have a crosswalk. I don't even know if they had those then.
Probably outside of church.
So Ludwig had this thing called Nymphenburg Palace.
Oh, we've all got
Wait.
that.
And it was the other thing called the Gallery of Beauties, and there was all these, noble ladies and stuff like that.
The Gallery of Beauties.
But he also had
That's the recommended for you section on Pornhub nowadays.
he had Helena Sedlmayr, who was
Wait, what?
Helena Sedlmayr,
Sedlmayr?
and she was just a shoemaker's daughter. She was also painted in this portrait of beauties in the
Is this in, where is this now?
Nymphenburg Palace.
This is, okay, in Bavaria.
And so he immediately has Lola's done, and people are not too thrilled about that. But he had already basically shown, like, hey, this is the hall of girls who I think are hot. I don't care if they're a shoemaker's daughter or a noble lady.
Was it pictures or like did they have to stand there? Like how did it work?
Behold the inside of my locker.
Wait, what do you mean?
So how did the museum work? Were there pictures of them or did they have to like sit there?
Oh yeah, it was paintings.
Okay.
It was all paintings.
Yeah, it wasn't the Hall of Presidents at Disneyland. Hello, I'm Lola Montez. Here are my tits.
Lola,
They are real.
Lola's just known for being very rude and very, very, very bad temper. And she just says whatever the fuck she thinks, so she's not really popular there. And the king is also married to the queen, Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen, and they have 9 kids.
Hildburghausen?
That poor woman.
And his marriage to her, Queen Therese, was the first Oktoberfest ever.
Hey.
Yeah. And
That's
so
a good thing.
So this is in the 1850s?
This is, I think, still late 1840s. Actually, it's close to.
And that's the. I thought for some reason I thought it might have been older.
Oktoberfest?
Yeah, das Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it wasn't a yearly thing at first.
Yeah.
Like Leap October. I mean, October's been around. For a while.
No, I mean Oktoberfest.
It wasn't the first October. Nobody's saying that.
They it's a celebration, and maybe they do it that year, and then no one does it again for 5 or 6 years, and then it becomes a yearly thing.
And also, don't forget, they have 9 children, so that might be like the 1820s when that first one happened.
Yeah, by the time you have that 9th one, Jesus
But
Christ.
so them clowning around together all the time isn't like the hottest look in Bavaria. So he says, "Oh no, we're just good friends," and she's teaching me Spanish. She doesn't know Spanish.
She doesn't even know dancing.
She doesn't know anything except what she does, which is amazing.
Yeah, just be hot and.
But Queen Therese is very popular with the people there, and so there's a lot of people more hostile towards Montez, and then Montez is kind of looked upon by the people leaning towards her political views as very popular. So now there's this kind of conservative Catholic versus liberal Protestant type thing going on. And Ludwig is trying to get her citizenship. And he makes her Countess of Landsfeld. And he gives her a big annuity, right?
A big old annuity.
Yeah. And for more than a year, she's kind of fucking Rasputin style of running shit.
Yeah.
And
So she actually settles. This is a thing that she actually stays in a place.
yeah, I think she liked being taken seriously and actually getting into the halls of power.
Yeah.
And I think she actually loved him because when she didn't care, she bailed.
Yeah.
You know, if she was bored, she bailed. And she always knew there was another more exciting adventure awaiting. And there always was. Like it's fucking nuts. So she has like this almost irrational hatred of Jesuits, and which is really funny.
Wait.
I think she came across some Jesuits that were not into her dancing and stuff like that, and then she developed a healthy distaste of them.
Okay.
But it's also, don't forget, the Protestant thing at first was rebellious. It was
Protestant.
Yeah, it was Protestant. And so she's kind of pushing that thing, and the more bohemian stuff that she got into in France, and why can't I run down the street naked, and all these things of why can't women have more power, all these things that are very right on.
I mean, I think I'm projecting a modern day sensibility where it's like I would have assumed that she would have gotten past that religion, but maybe back then you just never do. It's it's so all encompassing.
Right. Yeah. So there's some people like in Ludwig's administration that aren't down with the rise of Lola Montez, and so she's like, fire them, and he does.
Oh, that's trouble.
Because it feels so good. I mean, imagine if she was a guy. God,
Feels so good.
Oh my God.
It'd be the best.
Jesus.
So all these kids from the University of Munich protest outside of her house. And and she goes out on the balcony and starts drinking champagne and eating chocolate in front of them.
That's a fucking dick move.
It is like your mom.
It really is. Yeah.
I can't hear you over the champagne.
So Ludwig shuts down their university. And that doesn't make things better.
No, that's trouble.
And so now the people are in full revolution.
Yeah.
It's the second country she's completely destabilized by just
Christ.
Being there.
by being so hot. Dude, she's so hot. She probably, I mean, this guy's got 9 kids.
Yeah, and his wife doesn't want to fuck him anymore because just to fucking he doesn't want a 10th kid. fucking destroy her body.
No, he doesn't want to fuck her anymore.
Or he's just madly
I
in
think
love
it's a
with
little
her.
bit of both.
Nah, she wants to fuck him. He's Ludwig.
No, they probably have a kid every Oktoberfest. Ever think of that, Matt?
No, why would I think of that?
Because you have stunted French thinking.
Yeah.
You don't know how royal families work.
But haven't you seen those pictures of what the fuck was the one? The Victoria Woodhall, like the one of the preachers, his wife had like 10 kids, and after she aged 30 years having those 10 kids.
Yeah, no,
Right.
and that's why he didn't want to fuck her.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you're proving our point.
You're right.
She doesn't want to fuck him. She'd be begging to fuck
No,
him.
but it could be both true.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a choice.
I don't know, man. I think probably like if I was like, you know, the Bavarian king or whatever, and like my wife kept having kids, I'd be like, let's see how many we can get to.
Sure.
I mean, these kids are not going to starve.
They may not survive, but they're not going to starve.
So one of these times with these fucking these kids now, they have all day to protest, right?
Yeah.
So
School's out for Oktoberfest.
For
they're
Lola.
outside the palace again, where she had the champagne and the chocolates, fucking pissing them off, and they're all screaming for her to get the fuck out. And
She doesn't speak German.
Ludwig is finally like, "You need to get the fuck out." And so suddenly the doors open, crowd goes quiet because
Doors open for what?
for her to walk out
Out of the town?
of the palace
and leave.
and leave by horse carriage.
Got it.
And they all shut the fuck up, and she's got the whip on her, and they know she'll use it.
Yeah.
So nobody fucks with her the whole way to the horse carriage. She walks through them.
Yeah.
They part.
Ugh.
Like they just get the fuck out of her way. So I mean,
Wow,
the charisma
man.
must have just been like, even people that hated her were like,
Respect.
oh fuck.
Charisma's palpable.
That must have been the fucking most amazing moment where, well, first off, for those kids, they accomplished something. They got what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody is quiet while she's walking, time stops.
And so, in these ensuing years too, these few years that she's there, and it gets the annuity and the countess and all that. The king of Prussia, the king of Austria, is so worried for Ludwig that he has somebody just offer her a fuckload of money to get the fuck out, and she just literally throws it in his face. Throws all the money in his face, and she's
I'm not done here yet.
yeah, she's getting her agenda done. She's pushing the Protestant liberal side, and
Well, and just her presence alone is enough to foment.
knowing there's an influencer,
Yeah.
not in the stupid Instagram way,
Right.
in the
right.
real influence
yeah,
way.
It's not even like it's just almost that her presence is itself a disruption, right? And that disruption spreads. It has nothing necessarily to do with her politics, but it has the benefit of being aligned with her politics.
Yes, who elected you?
Right. And then it's like, hey, we didn't. Who elected the king?
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you know we could elect people? Fuck.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So it's this interesting. She's an unwitting or unwitting like agent provocateur.
Yeah.
And she does not want to leave. She sneaks back into the country,
And
and
she stays in the country.
and this time he makes her leave by gunpoint, and then he has to give up the throne.
Really?
This put him out of power. This is the second government she's taken
Jesus
down.
Christ. Why would
She's taken down 2 governments.
no? If you're another country, why you don't let her in, right?
But she's so hot,
She's so hot, man. You have no idea, dude. This is
and she really loves me.
yeah.
Well, hey,
It's different this time.
hey, it's your
48,
crown.
1848, she goes back to London. She meets this guy named George Trafford Heald, a British cavalry officer, and he just got rich with an inheritance. And she marries him, and she still is not really divorced from her previous husband. Her groom's aunt she's scandalized. Scandalized.
No,
Yeah, I mean, you got this really hot lady. She's banged half of Europe.
she doesn't like
royalty.
spiders. I keep going back to the
I don't even know if he told her about the spiders.
No.
I mean, that spider thing it's pretty good stuff.
It's pretty hot.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, I think strippers should try it. She'd be like, oh, I can't get all these spiders
I mean,
off.
it's just absolutely genius.
Shout out to all the unemployed strippers out there right now.
that's-
Yeah.
The reformed
Well, hopefully they're employed at home.
myfreecams.com,
Oh, yeah.
Myfreecams.com?
onlyfans.com, chatterbait.com, jerkmate.com.
What's so good
Oh.
about free cams?
Well, it's not really free.
The cameras are free.
They're my free cams.
Yeah.
Not
No, it's
yours.
freedom free.
Hey,
No, it's got a hefty
There's a
fucking
hefty
fee.
it's $1.05, baby.
So they can't remarry to this guy that just got all this money, and she's subject to a bigamy charge.
She hasn't been married before, has she?
Yes, she
No,
has.
she-
She's not divorced yet.
Yeah, she's not divorced.
that's
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Yeah, she was married when she was 16.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so they go to France, Spain, and somewhere along the way he drowns. And that is not really known about.
Somewhere along the way, he drowns in that WAP.
Yeah. He might have drowned in the WAP.
So we were in Spain, and he drowned. And
Yeah.
now I'm back. And
Burial at sea. So now she goes in 1851 to these United States of America.
gold.
You like that?
1851, huh?
1851. She does the spider dance.
Yeah, that's right after the fucking West Rush.
The West Rush, the Gold Rush.
Yeah, but West.
So now, Aaron, to your point, she starts doing a thing where she's now doing a thing like a show called Lola Montez in Bavaria. She's starting to actually trade on her reputation, which is
She's doing a show in the United States
called Lola Montez in Bavaria. So she's starting to understand.
She's
that.
doing a show called Lola Montez in Bavaria.
Well,
Yes.
in
And so,
America.
what is the premise?
She's dethroning.
Well, think about everything I just told you.
So the premise is that she's reenacting it.
I think
That's what I'm getting at.
I think it's a
I'm
romantic.
listening, motherfucker.
romanticized.
I'm interested.
Motherfuck!
Yeah.
Don't say that in this hallowed home.
You can say that in my place.
This is a happy.
Yeah,
house.
this isn't Chineseville, pal.
Jesus Christ.
Forget about it.
So yeah, she's. I mean,
Reenacting her own mythology.
yeah. And I mean, she's also starting to get like I don't even have to just do spiders anymore, which she still does.
Good.
Of course. It's a great. It's your closer, probably.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider Woman.
But she goes to San Francisco, 1853, and people are fucking going apeshit to go see her.
Oh, these dirty miners.
And
Miners.
she there's a satirical play that pops up in San Francisco, based on her.
Really?
Ooh.
Is it called the Lolita Express?
It's
'Cause
called
her name's Lola.
It's called Who's Got the Countess?
Oh.
And so then she goes to the mining camps of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Hey. Oh.
And
See how the soldiers
she marries a local newspaper guy in Grass Valley.
What?
And,
Hey.
Wait,
and
how old is she at this point? Because is she trying to settle down or?
No, this woman doesn't settle.
No, that's what I'm thinking. But to marry a news, you just dethroned two kings, and now you're marrying a newspaper man.
Oh, listen, man. Listen. Listen. I'm saying listen.
she is 30 at this stage.
Jesus Christ!
On her way
Yeah.
out.
What a fucking 20s she had.
I don't think she's on her way
No,
out.
I
yet,
don't
Aaron.
think so
No, I
either.
don't
She
think so
seems like
either.
she's got a shelf life, and I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, you marry a newspaper man, you get free advertising.
Well, so, and at this point, she's got the only house she ever owned, and I think there's like a little bit of a thing there too, where she's got this play that's making fun of her. She's been made fun of in England. She's probably got like a pretty bad rap around a lot of the Western
Yeah,
world.
Bavaria's not a fan. Poland's not.
And
Russia,
so
Poland.
this place in the Grass Valley was the only house she ever owned, and she performs in the mining camps, and they love her, and she's so good. She brings in investors to invest in the mines.
No, not in a show, but into the mind.
But the shows
Right, got it.
create kind of a stir, and she actually like improves the economy.
She's building towns, basically.
And Lotta Crabtree.
Is that a name?
Yeah,
Or
it's a performer that would go on. She kind of mentored her.
What was her name?
Lotta Crabtree.
That's a terrible
Got them
name.
crab apples.
She would go on to have a very successful entertainment career.
So she's one of those like Little Egypt and those types.
Yeah, but this is she's going to grow up more towards the like 1870s and be big then and stuff. And yeah, she got incredibly rich in her time. So 2 years later, she's over the newspaper guy.
Of course.
Prince dead. She took down the newspaper industry.
Well, she has an affair with a doctor in the area.
A doctor.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see the way the occupations of her lovers have changed since she left Europe.
Yeah.
There's no kings in America.
That doctor ends up dead.
Mm-hmm.
How did he do it? Drowned? He drowned in Spain?
I mean, if she cheated with him, was she in love with him? Did the husband do it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
she's not getting any money.
This is now like the second death.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know what the average death per relationship was for
people in general.
Yeah.
To forgive more for the murder.
What did he die
but,
of?
they say like, they had 9 kids. Well, that's because fucking like 3 of them were probably going to die before they hit the age of 8.
You have as many as you can.
Not as a king.
No, not as a king.
No, not as
but still.
Mm-hmm.
But so
people had a lot of kids because they
had a lot of kids because they had a lot of kids. Yeah.
And also, if their pullout game was weak.
Yeah, they didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think for the kings and the noble people, a big family was a good or a worse thing?
Worse.
Because they're all
Gonna
fighting.
Fight. Yes.
But if there's more of them to fight each other, isn't that good for you?
It depends on the family. If you have a first kid
because you want to have stability. And that, I mean, it's the whole reason they have incest and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
But
like Genghis Khan's kids fucked it all up and his grandkids.
Also, maybe they had a bunch because they wanted a male heir and they got a bunch of girls first.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things of like the guys always thinking like, well, they'll rule this little thing and my Julie will rule this little thing, and
right.
It's like a total ego trip.
Right.
Well, but it's like, with the Sam Patch episode, eventually you run out of, as the generations go by, you run out of land to hand down. You can chop it up all you want, but eventually you run out of...
You got to chop it up.
Yeah.
But anyways, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's very suspicious, but I wouldn't be surprised if, a lot of people spouses died.
People died.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was murdered.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was murdered.
The doctor was murdered.
Was it a horsewhip?
Moida?
It was it was because
was it one of them Dan Doherty gators?
It might have been a snake.
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 It was a minor.
Did I send you that Onion article?
Wait, which one's that?
The headline said, "As if things weren't bad enough, snakes still slithering around out there."
For a man that's as scared of your trash bin as you are, that's
Dude, nothing scares me more than them out there.
whatever animals in that trash.
That sounds really racist, but I'm talking about wildlife. Them out there. You never want to say them, but I do mean it.
Those
snakes,
those things,
rats, all that
vermin
shit.
of all
I
stripes.
can't do it.
So do you know what he died of?
Oh no, it just said he was murdered. The first one drowned.
Right.
And then this guy
drowning can be, that can be a mistake.
I think he was stabbed. And so now she takes off to Australia.
So she flees after the stabbing.
Yes.
It's
good to get out of Dodge, right?
Sure, if you stab somebody.
So now she's bringing the spider dance to a whole new world.
Now they got crazy spiders in Australia.
So they really,
It's an invasive species.
She does it in the Royal Theatre in Melbourne in September 1855. And it creates quite the scandal, Aaron.
Oh, baby.
I mean, this is really...
She's scandalized down under?
Oof.
She's scandalized down under with her down under. Because as she pulled up the skirt to fend off the spiders, they could see that she wore no panties.
No.
And you know how strong those Irish pubes are, don't you?
Ugh, man. They'll catch anything.
No, I don't, John. Why don't you tell me?
Oh, they're mighty, boy.
Oh, they are. We are few, but we are mighty.
Oh, God. We're furious.
Furious?
We're furious, so they're protecting the clit. Got that big clit energy on this one.
I love a good big clit energy.
Protect the queen, lads.
It's a green new deal, is what that energy is.
It's a green new deal.
Well, because it's Irish.
Here's the deal, man.
Here's the deal, man. It's new. It's green.
The bigger the forest, the more of the wop.
This is a wonderful sentence I like in the review of her performance.
From Australia?
Do you think she was fully shaved?
I really...
was anyone?
I would guess it was manicured.
Back then?
Tastefully.
Manicured tastefully, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're probably using sheep.
If you know you're going to go hunting for spiders down in the bush.
What if she trimmed it into a spider?
Whoa. I mean, you're not using a flat razor.
And the vulva area was the mandibles of the tarantula.
Yeah. And the dudes are all shooting web.
Yeah, they're shooting web everywhere.
Big
and
time.
down under, it gets squirrels backwards.
That's exactly right, Aaron. I'm glad you brought that up.
So what? Yeah,
because they go in a in a spiral formation.
That's right.
The sperms. Did we talk about that?
The spoims?
Spoims? That's syrup is spoim.
So if she's jumping while she's peeing, then it looks like the spider is shooting.
Why would she jump and pee?
Why would she do that?
Well, because it's part of the dance. I don't know.
Don't you know anything about spiders, Matt?
Don't you know anything about gravity, dude?
I know enough. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
The
Read a blog.
the review says the show was utterly subversive
I love subversive.
to all ideas of public morality.
Oh, that's great. I love those.
It's devastating.
No,
That's the best review you could possibly
Exactly.
get.
That's the thing that's going to get people to go. It's Cherry Sisters type.
I gotta see this.
In Ballarat, the editor of the Ballarat Times destroys the spider dance in his editorial.
No.
And she whips the shit out of him.
Wait, like literally?
Literally.
She shows up to the office and
Yeah,
she
Fucking
whips
she
the fuck
duels
out
him
of
with a whip?
There's no duel. It's just a
Yeah.
fucking ass beating.
Yeah. I guess a duel takes two willing
yeah,
participants.
that's right.
Yeah. It's a duel in that she beat him once and came back and gave it to him again.
Dual beaten.
Dual beatings. So in April 56 in Australia, she kind of comes up a little bit and she gets a huge encore in a place called Castlemaine after doing the spider dance in front of 300 to 500 diggers.
Oh, miners love this woman.
Yeah, miners do love her quite a bit. And
It's like the calendars for the army when they're on the front and they haven't seen it.
yeah, it's the bunch of horny guys. She does great in front of a bunch of horny guys.
All these guys are jacking off later. They're having a great time.
And some people, somebody heckles her a little bit, and then she kind of goes off and loses it, and then they kind of lose it on her. She gets them all turned against them, and she goes back to San Francisco with her.
Did anything happen there? Just like a boo, they threw produce at her and she left?
Well, she actually shut down that theater. So now she's
another empire falling.
yeah.
Anything that doesn't work with her.
You'll never work on this town again. You'll never have a theater in this
It's like
town
you don't even
again.
have a town again.
She
Yeah.
salts the earth.
Dude, it's crazy. So now she's going back 1856, 35, right? And she's going back with her manager, this fella. He gets pushed overboard on the way.
What?
Or maybe he fell. Who's to say?
Man, don't put this lady. Just do not be near her in water. Don't even drink water.
So this is like the third possible murder. And like the whole rest of the time while governments are going down, there's like, she hasn't killed anybody that we know of, right? So now she's 35 and she hooks up with Reverend Charles Chauncey Burr.
A reverend.
Yeah, and she starts pushing
What a stable.
the Lord.
Dancing for the Lord.
And she's doing like mad charity work and
Mad.
charity work. And the thing is this, Aaron, at this time she's already got late stage syphilis.
Oh, she's fucking going.
Oh, no.
crazy.
And people will come and see her and stuff
God.
like
Where'd
that.
she get it from? You think she got it from a digger, or did she get it from like a fucking aristocrat? Probably an aristocrat, right?
I don't know. That's the thing. And
Well,
she dies in 1861. She's buried in Brooklyn. I think a lot
So
of...
she got late stage syphilis. Does she lose her nose? Does her hair fall out? Does she start going crazy, or does she just die?
There's not really information on that. She did write a couple of books that maybe Chauncey Burr helped her write, and I guess he just kind of like used her charisma to like push his church and stuff. And they said like in later years, was still fun to be around and stuff like that, but she just wanted to talk about the past. She knew the end was coming, so she was again 40 years old.
I mean, well, the church thing makes sense because she probably she was dying. She saw that she was falling apart.
Yeah, and
she was losing her mind.
Now it's like
I don't know if she ever had it. I mean,
Right.
again,
I've destroyed everything. Maybe God will take
you
me.
don't want to say that, just because she made a lot of moves and had a lot of influence that she's crazy, but also, did she get those because she was crazy?
Yeah, well, it's the thing with like Woody Guthrie is like, would he be Woody Guthrie without the Huntington's disease? Would she
Right.
be who she was without the
Right.
and how long did she have the syphilis? Did she have it before? Probably had it before she started killing people. Or
Yeah,
theoretically.
but maybe that was what did it. Maybe,
Right, well,
maybe
that's
it
what-
was the syphilis.
Yeah, that's the thing. Her mind was changing, and that's why she started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad end. I like that at least before she went, she had that Australian adventure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Shut down some theaters and shit. Like,
I mean, every continent.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Every continent.
Not every continent, but
Well, she didn't seem to do
she
too
was
much.
incontinent by the end.
She didn't seem to do too much damage in the States. But the States is too big then too.
Right, yeah.
But she always found rich men. She always found favor, and she. Even with the religious stuff at the end, don't forget she always had a somewhat religious agenda.
yeah.
And there's probably a lot more of the kind of different factions of Protestantism that might have appealed to her in the States than would be throughout all of Europe, right? Because here, especially, the Protestant church just kept splitting and getting weirder and different, things. And
Right.
she definitely butted up against some Quakers in California and stuff, and had some friendships there.
I mean, but in 40 years, she did more than a lot of people do in 80.
Most people
Oh my
don't take
God.
down even one empire.
Yeah, and the thing is too is that don't forget, like, she kind of could have floated around as a loose British aristocracy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
did
you're right.
not.
Yeah.
Right,
She didn't settle.
She built herself up as a fictional character
Yeah.
and was all the doors opened.
It's really impressive. Yeah.
And yeah, everybody just agreed that she was a breathtaking beauty. I showed you boys the picture of her. You didn't see it, nor do I completely. But I think it's just a lot of confidence.
And
It's not the kind of picture where you go like, "Oh my God, yeah, I have to fuck her."
Right.
Yeah, well, she doesn't look like the drawings of Helena Troy or carvings or even Borgia. What the fucking the Borgia woman. She doesn't look. She doesn't have that look of like. Well,
Right.
of course, this is someone. Who's
So it's just going to be so much of the charisma, so much of the in-person stuff, and
The tude, like the vibe you put off. Sometimes it's
tude,
just like,
yeah.
damn, the way you walk.
Yes,
The way your posture is, the way you smell, like,
the way you horsewhip.
all those things too. Like it's
yeah.
it's I mean that's really fucking. I mean, imagine that fucking reputation going around. Like, there's a woman that's insanely hot. She can whip cops in the face.
Yeah, and they'll run away from her.
Yeah. And fucking, one dead husband after another.
If you screw her over, she'll take down your entire country.
But
Dude,
the dead husbands weren't till later.
Well, even well, the dual guy was one that was not her
that's
fault.
right. Oh, you're right.
That was not her fault.
Right.
And on that one, she was actually actively trying to talk him out of it.
I forgot about that guy. Right in the face.
But it was one too, where it was a guy that was like a fucking, the drama critic, and he could help her career and stuff.
And he probably doesn't. Maybe he doesn't get in that position if not.
The villa that Wilhelm IV gave her was at a cost of 500,000 Deutschmarks.
At the time.
Yeah,
So that's an insane number now.
it's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
And so everybody can see this happening too. Like that's the thing, it's like these
Open corruption? How? Well, that would never exist today.
Well, it's
Come on.
it's kind of a dare, isn't it? Like
Things are changed.
yeah, you're right.
I got a
But
pizza place to sell you.
Hey, does it have ping pong?
at a time where things are easier to cover up because there's only a few actors,
Right, yeah.
You kind of wonder like, why didn't you just keep this way more on the down low, pal?
Well, I
And
think
it's
she
probably
doesn't want to be
'cause-
beholden to anybody.
and she wants to be in the room.
Yeah, and she wants to be
Right.
known. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moment you give her a thing, she's going to go and it's going to become a headline of, hey, I got a thing. And I'm.
Well, and it's also, then now you have this to hold over me.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Like, I don't, it's kind of one of the things like the kind of mob thing, like don't accept favors
Yeah.
that you're not willing to repay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, no. You give me this, now you're going to want me to fucking fuck you, fuck your friends, have a kid, but
Yeah.
spit out some airs. No.
But
I'm going to be in the room, lighting up a cigar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The, archetype of the femme fatale, the man eater.
She's
I don't think I've ever seen a better example of it.
No,
I mean,
that's
the
amazing.
taking down of
Two.
that's pretty
Two.
next level shit.
Yeah. And this is a time of consummate royal power. Like it's absolutely astonishing.
It's pretty wild. Where'd you hear about this?
This was just something I ran across randomly, and I started chasing it, and then it was just like more and more rewarding. I think I heard first about the whipping the cop in the face. That's why I opened with that.
And in this climate of police reform, it's really nice.
She hated authority. She hated authority. All those boarding schools and all that shit.
She would be in trouble.
And she hated conservatism, and she hated Jesuits, and it was one of those things too, where it was like, was she crazy, or was this just an early revolutionary?
Yeah.
And they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Like
They're not. Yeah, like was
Someone has
Jesus
to-
Christ just an early communist?
He's also a carpenter.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can put you make.
Not very good, I hear.
Yeah, I mean back then.
But I think he nailed himself to a cross.
Yeah.
Idiot.
He fucked it up.
missed. Shit.
I mean, getting the second hand.
This is supposed to be a cabinet.
A little help.
But yeah, it's a fascinating thing. I wish I knew so much more about where her head was at and how much of her stuff was just personal mental illness and how much of it was just I'm going for power and this is all very planned out. And then think about this, like, you get to the East Coast of the States and then you try this Lola Montez in Bavaria, you try using the reputation, and then when you go to fucking San Francisco, you're like, yeah, I'll stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, probably
Because you don't know if it's,
the reputation doesn't extend out there.
but also you don't know if it's, a debility or an asset.
Right, sure.
Like, is everywhere you go now going to be seen as like, oh yeah, this is the woman that comes and shows up and destroys empires?
Yeah, things are pretty precarious for a lot of the towns out there, the miners out there. I mean, they're not making that much money. So, you don't want to destroy anything.
And it's just, the nail that sticks up gets hammered down
Sure.
twice as fast if you're a woman.
Yeah.
Right? And how she evaded that.
She's tough.
Basically,
She's tough as nails.
all of her life. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, a lot of that was running away to another thing.
Yeah, but that was also just seizing opportunities too.
Sure.
No,
Well, sometimes when you're such a stubborn nail, people don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Fuck, nobody's ever done that before. What do we do? Send this like, you can be that much of a firebrand and an outlier that you're just you shock people into submission,
inaction.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Deer in the headlights type of thing.
and I think there's almost
And there's something intoxicating and alluring about it, which is these powerful.
it's a force of nature thing.
Yeah, and it's power. Powerful men. Say all the fucking Wall Street guys, but they hire dominatrixes to fucking step on their balls with. They all they want is to be
Enthralled.
right and to submit because all day they're in power.
Yes, it's
And so when somebody comes along who can, even if it's faking it, it's real enough.
Isn't that very interesting though too? Because I've heard women say that same thing to me too, that are into the submissive stuff. That they're like, the rest of my day I'm kind of pretty like, type A, whatever. But like when it comes to the bedroom, I just want to be totally submissive. It's really
Hot.
I mean, it
can be, yeah.
But it's just interesting that that's that common.
Yeah. It's
I think
it's
Is it interesting it's that common? Yes. Is it surprising? No.
Why is it not surprising?
I think it makes total sense. Like, because you're playing. So it's no. What I mean, if you're a cop, do you come home and play cops and robbers? Like, no.
Yeah.
You want to
put on your pig mask and get in the basement.
Exactly.
So you spend all day.
Do you think that guy that lives in the septic tank works for sanitation?
No, sure.
No, but works in a hospital.
You spend all day in control.
the hospital.
He is the hospital.
And it takes so much energy to be in control.
Yes.
Now finally you can
That's a big thing.
You can just relax.
So you think it's just escapism is what drives it?
Without a doubt.
I think that's some of it.
It's escapism
and for these kings,
get these big men walking through my room.
But I bet you Lola is not doing submissive shit.
No, but
but she's a woman.
Yeah, but I just told you. I know women too that are the same way.
Well, sure.
But you said women
that
all
position.
day. I mean, type A. You think there were fucking any women who were type A back then had the opportunity to be type A?
Well, she
the
was
opportunity.
one.
The theater director. The theater
Right,
director.
but
Lola
she
was one.
still
Yes.
a woman, and in society, you are less than.
Yes,
But I also don't think she was playing a role.
no, I don't think she was playing a role.
No, she was defining a role. No one had really done that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting how it really demonstrates how precarious a lot of the royal power was.
Oh,
when it could be
yeah.
overthrown so easily.
And let it be a lesson that how precarious all power is.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
I mean, look at fucking Belarus right now.
think about, well, how small and related all those royal families are.
Yeah.
And so she's coming. And
And they're talking.
you know the deal.
Yeah.
And you just can't help but check it out and fall for it, even though you know the way it's going.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
exactly what happens with Superhead.
Yes,
This fucking
yes.
Eddie Winslow being like, yeah, Bobby Brown came up to me and he's like, what are you doing with her? And he's like, oh, you're just mad you're not getting the head. And so it's just like person after person has told you, like, this person will destroy you.
Right.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
And you go, I'll try.
It's a Midas touch.
I'm different.
Yeah. It's like an Aesop fable, Midas touch type of.
But it's amazing how those people can get into power. And like I said, she didn't use her actual nobility to get there at all. And I mean, just fucking totally upend shit.
Yeah.
Total. I mean, don't forget in Poland, she didn't even kiss that guy.
And that's why it worked.
Yeah.
As soon as you give it up,
Yeah.
the power's gone.
She gave it up to Ludwig in Bavaria,
But
and
she was with him for a long time.
yeah, but
She was with him. Like, there's
her power. That was probably the height of her power.
But she reclaimed the power. But I mean, the students protesting her shows there's still power there.
What do you mean?
Well, because they wouldn't have been protesting someone with no power. She still had.
Oh yeah, and she had her own student protesters too. There was her own faction of people that supported her.
Oh, okay.
And the more bohemian stuff and the more Protestant stuff. So like there was a thing where people were looking at her going like, "Oh, this is fucked up," and then there was people going like, "This is our chance," because they knew what she stood for.
Hurry, get all the mentally ill people to build bombs.
Build a burg. Build a
Yeah,
bomb.
there's this book called is it 48 Rules of Power? That's one of them. It's this guy, Green. Green is the author, and he wrote 48 Rules of Power, 48 something. Another one I think something about seduction and stuff, and he's got a few examples of kind of these femme fatales and also other people.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a book called Mastery is another one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of just like historical tidbits in there and what set people like Darwin apart from his peers, or what set any other master of their craft, or even just people who kind of willed their way into power is another one.
Yeah.
And when he talks a lot about a lot of women who willed their way into power, and a lot of it was just like, and I think we've talked about it on the show too, like just never just keeping these men just close enough.
Yeah, intrigued
Just enough to get you wanted, and then when that's the one of the few weapons that you're dealt, you learn how to wield it.
But also, before anything happens, she immediately throws her tits in this king's face, and he's still on the hook the whole time.
But
like,
that's part of it. Is like,
yeah, that's the thing you can't.
She was throwing him in.
Quantify though is the thing. Like,
she knew how to play the game.
How many girls could have thrown their tits at him, and he'd be like, "Well, those are amazing tits," but it was however way she did it.
Well, but
Yeah.
also, him asking, it is that she's hooked him. She's got him on
to say it in front of people too, and be willing to be embarrassed by saying it,
and it's also not her. Right, exactly. She's not
fragile
going,
there.
Do I have to, mister?
Right.
She's going, here, you want to see him so bad? Here you go.
You tell me.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it's this
Like she's just taking that power back. It's
hardcore.
It's pretty bold.
Yeah.
It's
I
very
mean,
bold.
she's doing it in what is on paper an act of submission. Sure, I'll show you my tits because you asked, but I'm gonna show you my tits.
It's like it's the best thing that it's a neg.
Yeah.
Hard neg by giving him what he wants.
Well, he started with a neg.
Yeah.
He started with an egg.
Yeah, those even real.
Well, those
We got a
just-
couple onions in there. My friend Matthew, the Frenchman, says they got a couple onions in
That's
there.
how they do it. Yeah, it smells great.
Dress that up. You wearing a funnel. Boost those things up, and she's just like,
you
"Sup
go.
now?"
Sup, bitch?
And he's like,
Call me.
Well, you know, someone calls you out and you fucking
"I'm the king.
you up them on that.
I started Oktoberfest."
Prost. Pretty good, John.
You like that shit?
I do.
That's very interesting.
Fucking
I want to look her up.
so
I
hot.
have some fucking, write some fan fiction.
Oh, totally. Yeah, let's make her a guy this time, though.
Oh, cool.
So it's
We'll chick
actually-
with a dick.
Wait till Spider-Man sees her.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Yeah,
I want it all.
Man.
me too. Can I have some of that all?
Got to catch them all.
Is there enough WAP for the rest of us? Or WAD?
What as dick?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, what do you do with yours? I mean, come on. You just can't leave it out dry all day.
You're right. You're right. Got to get some stank on your hang down.
Yeah, that's why I got a bucket at home.
No, full of stank. Good for you.
And today's show is sponsored by Bucket O Stank. Go to bucketostank.com, enter the promo code profiles for your 10% off any Bucket O Stank. That's bucketostank.com, promo code profiles.
And that's per volume.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means you'll get your dick stank.
Means your dick stinks. All right, let's fuck up. I'm going to say goodnight. My name is John Fahey.
I'm Aaron Pita.
Remember so.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Starburns Audio.